Welcome to Build Out with Jim Kunkel, your go-to broadcast for learning more about business in the real world. Your host, Jim Kunkel, who is an accomplished professional in business development, sales, and marketing, and is a technical content creator along with being a rising influencer on LinkedIn. On Build Out, you'll get the latest information and knowledge from subject matter experts from across the globe. Okay, let's get this Build Out broadcast started. And here's your host, Jim Kunkel.
Welcome to an all-new episode of Build Out. I'm Jim Kunkel. Joining me today is Steve and David. Steve, David, welcome.
Hey,
good morning, Jim.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, before we talk about community associations and also talk about your webcast with the car chat, Steve, if you could do me a favor, could you provide your professional background and what you do?
Oh, absolutely. Well, thanks for having us, Jim. My name is Steve Roderick, and David and I both work at JGS Insurance, where we spend most of our days and a lot of evenings, too. We work with the boards and the management of community associations, and we insure the properties, the condos, the high-rises. We insure the larger property portion of what's going on in their GL. And so that's what we do every day, just working on community associations.
And David, if you could provide your background.
So very similarly to what Steve mentioned, my specialty is also community association, condo, co-ops, HOAs. And I also have, due to my previous background, a foot in the roofing industry. Anything that has to do with insuring the distributors, the manufacturers for roofing products. Amen.
Excellent. And like I said, before we get into our conversation regarding community associations, get to learn a little bit more about about that industry, about that market, and then also to spend more time talking about your webcast, which is very popular on YouTube, and it's the car chat, as you are both in your car today. But before we do that, I wanted to shout out to today's sponsor, which is Coffee Brand Coffee. Steve, David, if you could hold on for one quick second. There you go. Hold your coffees. Good. Let's talk about the power of a great cup or mug of coffee. Coffee drinking dates back to at least the 15th century from the Sufi monasteries of Yemen. And by the 16th century, the practice of brewing and drinking coffee spread to Eastern Europe and Southeast Asia. Today, coffee is one of the most highly traded commodities, and after water, the most consumed global beverage. For many around the world, coffee helps start the day and provides a welcome physical and mental boost throughout the day. The official premium coffee of this broadcast comes from coffeebrandcoffee.com, who fresh roast coffee as orders come in. Please support this broadcast and my content by using the special build-out link to coffeebrandcoffee.com. Order some premium coffee and teas today and support Build Out at the same time. You can find that link for Coffee Brand Coffee, which is a special link for Build Out, in the episode description. And also, too, I will post it as a comment as well. So please take advantage of that. Purchase some premium quality coffees and teas and support this broadcast and my content. Thank you very much. Steve, David, let's get into the conversation when we talk about community associations. That's an area that I learned more about from just associating with you both, talking with you both, and getting to learn a little bit more about what you do. But, how big of an industry is community associations here in domestic?
Do you want to take that one, Steve?
Sure, no problem. There's somewhere upwards of around 74 million people in the United States live in some form of common interest community. So it's a huge part of the population. I believe 6,000 communities just in the state of New Jersey. And yeah, it's pretty big. It's a big deal.
Yeah, and to reinforce Steve's point, if you look at the building data of what is being built, the building permits that are being applied for, most of what is new construction in the near future is going to be, or if not, is already common interest communities, whether it's an HOA, whether it's a condo, a co-op. This form of community living is on the rise. and this is really a reality that's part of everybody. If not right now, it will be in the future part of most Americans' reality.
And Steve, typically, what type of insurance needs do community associations typically need?
Well, that's a good question. Now, they're all their own little animal. Each association is different, but there are in this area there are 5 basic policies that they're going to need. The first one being the package policy, which is be your general liability and your property insurance. That's really the lion's share of the whole program. That's going to ensure all of the structures and the common property. It's also going to cover the general liability, so the slips and falls and things like that if somebody were to get injured. And then going down from there, they're going to need a couple more policies, like a directors and officers policy to cover the board for doing board things. They're going to need a crime policy because in case somebody were to somehow be able to steal money, securities, or things like that, crime related. A work comp policy, and also an umbrella that goes over most of those. On the GL side, on the general liability side. That's a really, really short version of what a community association is going to need as far as insurance is concerned.
Yeah, and David, typically what both you and Steve do, you're on the road a lot, and you're working with not only the members of these communities, but also the management side of these communities as well for information, education.
Absolutely, and right now, as we speak, I'm heading to a seminars that we're hosting with CAI, the Community Association Institute of New Jersey chapter, and that is a seminar for high-rise communities, so large-scale condos, big vertical towers that are habitational towers. That's where I'm heading now.
Yeah, typically we don't do the show when we're actually in motion, so that's David's getting a little choppy there. But I'm headed to the same seminar up in Jersey City.
Yeah, very, very good, and safe driving there, David. Make sure you stay safe and everything like that. Let's go ahead and talk about the Community Association Car Chat. On LinkedIn, this webcast series that you do each week is very popular. It's gaining in popularity, and also too, the promos that you do for it are very humorous. What was the genesis of Car Chat?
Oh, wow. If you don't mind, David, I gotta give kudos, right? I have to give credit where credit is due. David was in the roofing industry, and it was during COVID. And we were both in sales, and we're having trouble getting out there in front of people. We're having trouble communicating our message. And so David had called me and asked if I wanted to join him on some sort of a show or a podcast. And it was really, there was nothing there yet. And I said, okay, sure. Yeah, we need to get in front of some people. What are you thinking? He's like, oh, I'm thinking a short video podcast or a webcast. I said, all right. So, but what does it look like? What's its personality like? And he says, oh, I haven't worked that out yet. I said, well, I know that every time I talk to you, you're in your car. Every single time I talk to David, he's on his way somewhere. He's going to another meeting. He's in his car. He's going to a seminar. He's going to perform some sort of educational program. And so what do you think? What do you think about doing something in our cars? And he says, okay, yeah, let's work on that. So we played around with it, and it just became what it is, which is us sitting in our car and a guest sitting in their car. And we talk about whatever industry segment they're interested in. It's a platform for our constituents, for our coworkers, to promote their business or their charity or whatever it is that they want to promote.
Well, and the other thing too is I was just recently on with you both, and what I found too that your guests that you have on, they're from really diverse backgrounds, different industries, different types of aspects of really pretty much anything. So how do you line up your guest?
That's David. That's an interesting question because actually what came about originally, we both have a very wide network of connections within the industry. And one of the things that we're really trying to do is bring value to our target audience, which is the management, the managers, the residents as well, but also the fellow business partners, because this is a big web. It's important that within the same industry, overlapping business partners get to know each other, get to understand each other's need, and then we can refer each other as well. So that for us is very important. but to be able to bring that value, we target specific people that we know have an expertise or a knowledge in a specific area, and we try to deliver maybe an episode that will talk. So right now we know we're heading into fall. Then it's going to be winter, so we want to talk about snow plowing. We want to talk about salting roadways. For example, Philadelphia recently had several facades from high-rise condo falling apart. We want to talk about what's the reason behind those things and what can we do about it. Is there service providers that can help the communities fix or stay ahead of these problems? That's really how we select people. Now, there's also people that reach out to us and say, hey, I have this amazing solution for these problems that we hear about all the time. I'd love to talk about it. And then we definitely consider that.
I would imagine that this has been a big benefit for you working in your capacity with JGS Insurance, probably when it comes to the networking connections, and then also probably, getting things lined up like these seminars that you're doing every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Steve.
I was just going to say it's an incredibly useful tool for us as well. We're having conversations that we may not have been having or had a reason to have these conversations. And it gets the ball rolling. It gets people thinking. It gets people interested in what we're doing. It gets them interested in what they're doing. And we really want to go out there and try to solve some of the issues that they're having. You asked me before about the policies for different associations. And for a lot of associations, insurance is right up there as the largest line item of their budget, or maybe just the second largest line item on their budget. So, yeah, we're having important discussions and really getting the ball rolling.
So how difficult is it to produce, let's say, create a webcast from vehicles?
Well, it's no different than logging into your Zoom meeting with your boss on any day of the week. The only difference is, making sure that you have a decent connection enough and that you're not driving when you do something. But in the case of today, actually, I'm parked now, but I had a little difficulty. I got caught in traffic, so I was in bumper-to-bumper traffic for a little bit. But the key things, for example, right now I am using my iPhone. It's on a holder on my windshield, so I barely can see the both of you, but I know where the phone is in the car. Other than that, otherwise, here is my typical setup. So I had this set up for when I wanted to, once I would be parked, I have a car desk with my computer right here. I have my mic, my lighting, and the auxiliary camera right here in the dash. And I don't get to use any of it, but it doesn't mean that it's going to stop us from doing what we got to do, and ultimately don't let the technical aspect of things get in your way, and then you can achieve anything.
Yeah, you can really break it down to the most simplest form. Like David said, you can do it on an iPhone. There's no real great expense. As you get more experience and you want to do some more fun stuff, I usually have multiple camera angles going and whatnot. But even those are relatively inexpensive. A webcam now, you can get a somewhat okay. Now, I wouldn't say production quality, but you can get an okay webcam for this sort of thing. A 1080 webcam for $50 on Amazon. So I run a couple of cameras and a microphone, and that's about it.
Let's talk about your mic for a second, Steve. Steve has a very interesting brand microphone. It's a high-end quality mic. It's totally worth it.
Oh yeah, it's you can tell by the quality of the sound that it's fabulous. But sometimes it helps if you even plug it in, or sometimes you just kind of want to look like you're a real pro webcaster and have a fancy looking microphone there.
Yep, that's sometimes that's the only thing you need to do. It's the art of illusion.
I guess you could consider it wireless. I'm very high tech. It's wireless.
Yeah,
so
right.
also too, I believe that you guys have some support when it comes to the production and post work and everything like that. Anybody you want to shout out on the broadcast?
Nope. We don't have any help. We do everything on our own. That's it. I'm just kidding. All credit goes to Alicia Ambrose
Yeah.
She is our production team. She's doing a lot of work in the background. So whether it's like doing some edits, because we have a very highly edited version of our webcast, so it does take that does take some like work. She does our fun teaser every is that we release every Saturday. She does a production for that,
Yeah.
and she gives us guidance and direction also on stuff when we screw up.
Yeah,
So
it's not an easy task trying to make David look good. And after she taught him how to speak English, now she has to actually get the dubs lined up so we can actually understand, and then add the subtitles so that we can read along too.
So one final question, so I can get you guys on your way to your seminar. Any future? We're going into the last quarter of 2022. We're going to go into 2023 before you know it. Any changes or any previews of what's coming from the Community Association Car Chat in 2023?
So that's a conversation that's still to be had with Steve and Alicia, but we have a couple bouncing a couple ideas. Actually, yesterday I called Alicia and I told her, say, hey, I have this idea and I want to run by you for 2023. And she's like, David, I'm preparing for this seminar tomorrow. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm like, all right, I completely forgot you're working on this project, so I let it go. But that's good. It's probably going to be a conversation we have today. We did talk about an interesting idea with Steve. We were talking about doing maybe a car chat marathon. So do a live stream and just invite some guests to have a rotating thing. We'll try to do a marathon. And now, Jim, how long do you think we can talk about a community association on live stream straight in on LinkedIn? What's the
I bet if you were to get guests and everything like that, like you've been talking about, you probably could do at least a 3-hour stream. I bet.
All right. We're talking about 4 hours. I went with 8, but Steve said no, 8's too long.
Yeah, you have to look at what the limit on the platform if they limit you to a certain length of stream time. So that's the other thing to consider.
Well, we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary in December, so we're gonna have some special stuff coming up. I'm not sure if David's even aware of what's coming, but yep, 2 years this December.
Yeah, seems like you know something I don't know, but yeah, we're heading towards episode 100 on at the end of November, I believe, or beginning of December. So yeah, it's an achievement.
Yeah,
we thought we were going to do 25 of those, so there you go.
Yeah, congratulations. So let's go ahead and we'll close out this stream. Steve, how can people follow you, get in contact with you, connect with you, social media, all that kind of good stuff?
The best way to get in touch with us is actually just through email. It's steve.roderick@jgsinsurance.com or david.velasco@jgsinsurance.com. But if you want to watch the show, that's the best places on LinkedIn at Community Association Car Chat. Has its own little channel there where all of our content is stored and comes out new content every Monday morning. Usually the teaser for that or a little bit of a commercial comes out either Friday afternoon or Saturday morning to let you guys know what we're going to be talking about on Monday. So that's really the easiest way to get in touch with us.
Perfect. And David, have you launched your TikTok yet?
Yeah, I do have a TikTok. It's called Insurance with David. Insurance_W_David on TikTok. It's another challenge. Gotta find the mojo to get things going. But actually, it's funny you say that. I was thinking about broadcasting some of our event today on live on TikTok. So we'll see. We'll see what comes out of it.
Yeah, I figured you were doing dance videos on TikTok or.
No, he does like to sing though. There's a song he sings about Monday and Car Chat. It's Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
Car
Chat day. Anyway, but no, the TikTok is actually a platform we're trying to use to find our groove. I think there's like some stuff coming up with this that will be more like towards Q4 of this year and 2023. But really try to get like some impactful message, 30 seconds or less, get the ball rolling about insurance, get you thinking about insurance. Now, TikTok has an interesting platform that allows you to do a lot on your own. So it's kind of also for us to be proficient with the tools that are available. And once you come with a great idea, not all of your ideas are going to be great. Not all your TikToks are going to be great. But once you have one that you're really proud of, then you can put it on LinkedIn. I've done it a few times. Same thing. I mean, I use Instagram as well, just for work purposes, but it's also just to show the human side of me. Same with Steve. If you go on his Instagram, you'll discover the human side of Steve. He's not just a suit and tie talking. So
Perfect. Everyone, please give them a follow. Make sure that you check out Community Association Car Chat. You don't have to be in a community association or in insurance to find their broadcast to be very entertaining and very informative. So make sure you give them a like and follow, and check out all their content they have. Steve, David, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
No, thank you, Jim.
Thank you for having us, Jim. It was great.
All right. You have a good rest of your day, and everybody have a good rest of your day. See you next Wednesday.
I hope you found value with today's Build Out broadcast. Make sure you connect with Jim on LinkedIn and subscribe to his YouTube channel. This way you'll be notified on new live streams and when new content is released. Please give today's broadcast a like and share with your connections and colleagues. Thanks for watching, and please visit buildoutproductions.com for additional content and to join the mailing list so you can keep updated on other streams and quality content from the creators on the Build Out Productions team.